I am not hiding. I'm not scared. I am not afraid. This is who I am.
Hello, everyone. Today, in this episode, I'm joined by Rohit Band, who's built a career across multiple industries. And what really stands out in Rohit's journey is not only the range of industries that he's thrived in, but also his courage and authenticity in bringing his whole self to work. As a cisgender gay man and a passionate advocate for the LGBTQ2S plus community, Rohit has used both his personal experiences and professional insights to champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in every space he's part of. Rohit, welcome to this episode of the Corporate Connect.
Thank you so much, Sindhu. Pleasure to be here.
So before we even dive into anything, I want to get started with this very, very important question. I was going through a LinkedIn profile and I saw that you posted a post about you sharing your identity.
It's very dear to my heart and very personal. So for the audience, who doesn't know, I did a LinkedIn post like a few years back, I think 3 or 4 years back, about me coming out, and that happened right after I was out to my parents. So that was a big part of me coming out as a cisgender gay man. So what it is means like I'm a born uh, male, but I identify myself for the part of the community where I'm gay. Uh, it was a lot of emotional roller coaster I've been through during that phase. It was important enough for my parents to know that who I am and what I am, because this is one part of me which is gonna be like always there. So I wanted to be authentically myself, even at my personal and professional career. So that was the decision that was made, that I need to also do a public post about me coming out. It was received very well with my parents, like even though coming from very traditional middle class, with my help of my counselor back in time, my therapist. So we kind of frame the conversation around this is one part of me, not entire me. I'm still as a good human being and a person and all that. So that was the whole idea behind even doing a public post on LinkedIn. I felt like I should make posts like this where nothing should stop you from being authentic self, but also as a part of the community or any human being, you need to start respecting each other's emotions and the feeling and who you are. Uh, if I am keeping some part and then just not telling everybody, that's not right on me, because then I might not be creating a safe space for everybody else who was like probably reading that post. So that post actually got like 500 plus likes and a lot of comments and whatnot. So that was that was a good highlight of that post.
Wow. Okay. That must have felt so liberating to write that post and like hit that publish button on LinkedIn. But like you said, like you shared it because you wanted to create this space for other people. Tell us a little bit more about your experience leading up to it, in the sense that you said that you had a therapist you were working with. Do you want to talk about what made you get into therapy, and top 2 or 3 things that therapy helped you in to come out to your parents, on LinkedIn, to your professional network and other personal network?
I wanted to do this. So there was a very calculative, thoughtful decision that I wanted to start my therapy for something like this. Couple things that went into my head before I started. They're like, why do I need it? So the simple answer was like, how do I structure my conversation when it comes to talking very sensitive topic about being yourself, right? So that's something that is unusual for my family, because my parents might have seen on the TV, might have read in the news or something, but unless it reaches your house, you really don't know the emotional aspect of it, right? So I wanted to have a very structured but a very informative coming out to my parents. So that was a decision point that I have decided that I needed this for myself. What it helped me is being a specific orientation is part of me, not entire me as a human being. So that helped me there. Another thing that my therapist pointed out was like, Rohit, you need to be mentally, emotionally, and financially stable when you're having to touch any of such topic to your family, because it might affect, you might go into the rage of talking loudly, or like you will feel that, oh, you won't understand me and whatnot. Like you can't expect them to understand you right away when you say something like this, because look at yourself. Like it might have taken some time to be peace with who you are as a human being and why you're different than others and what is different really, right? So what is right and wrong, what is different and what is indifferent, right? So we don't have that line. So these are the things that help me about understanding my own emotional, financial, and other stability in my life. How do I position my thoughts and what could go right and what could go wrong? So we kind of prepare a scenario where if this goes right, sure, we'll have this. If this goes wrong, what you would do. Therapy gave me this. So, which is,
Interesting.
I'm thankful for it.
Amazing. Amazing. The amount of strength that it gave you and the clarity that it gave you to be able to talk to everybody about this. And I wish and I hope that more and more people can get comfortable with sharing their true identities with everybody. And as a world, we're able to create a safe space for everyone. You said your LinkedIn post got 500 likes, so many comments, and I saw that, and I'm like, wow. Now tell me, how did that translate for you in the corporate world? You were still working, you were still part of the corporate world. Everybody read that post. How did that translate for you?
I moved from India to Canada like almost 9, 10 years back now. So before moving, my mind was very clear that, okay, if I'm starting a new life in a new country where probably I know one person or probably doesn't know anybody, how do I want to start my life? So, like, I was pretty open about who I am and what I am as my orientation. Soon I got working for few of the corporates I'm part of right now and also in the past where uh, everybody helped me to really give the strength and the power to like who I am. And then learning about different DNI avenues within the bigger corporate, like how much it is important. One thing that helped me, like having a strong DNI policy for the organizations. So not all the organizations had that I worked in the past, but I was fortunate enough that most of them had some part of a DNI that helped me. So in a way, the way it translated, it just empowered me more, and it just I was able to receive that safe space from everybody around the corporate uh, organization that it's okay because that doesn't really talk like your skills because you are skilled enough to get the job. You are skilled enough to step up to the ladder and then go to the next career that you ever wished of. It even helped me to switch around the career because part of this community not only helped me to like create the safe space for others, but also made me a good listener where there is more to it that you can think of. And then the sooner I started listening enough for around, it gave me a holistic approach of my career progression. And the way I approached that was I'm here to learn, I'm here to contribute, and I'm here to attest to my knowledge. So that coming out has actually helped me to grow in my career.
Amazing. But tell me, how did you, now that you've come out, you've shared your experiences, you're being more vocal about it. What have you done to make a difference? In addition, of course, you have made a difference already just by speaking up. But in addition to that, what changes did you bring up?
So, like the way it helped me in my thought process, like what it means is that anytime I am touching any processes, any technology, any part of my work that would impact even say outside customer, my mind just opened up more. Like for example, a regular product would have if you're calling a customer service, they would say sir or ma'am or like prefer you in a they'll put you in one box of gender, but I'm sure there are more gender fluidity spectrum out there. So like my mind also went in like, okay, so one part is done. Okay, I am creating safe space within organization or I am getting a safe space within organization. How do I also translate that into future technology enhancement, future policy building for outside customer? That way it is not truly like just what you like, it is like practice what you preach.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like then funny enough, one of the technology we use had gender as male and female, but there are other gender traits. And then my thought is like, okay, then what about the people want to feel differently, but still come to the come and buy your product. So it's like, yeah, and that kind of like helped me not to structure the policy inclusivity for the in-house customer or within the organization, but how it translated outside also impacted.
It takes courage, but it also takes a lot of self acceptance. Rohit, I've known you for 3 years now, and one thing that I know about you is the huge network that you have. And that to me is like, wow, you just came into the city like just a couple of years ago. And at this stage, there's so many people around you who are talking good things about you, but you know them and you've like established a great connection with all of them. Let's talk a little bit about you having built this network. How did you do that in the corporate world specifically? And what top tips do you have for people who are trying to build a community around them?
So one of my mentors always used to teach me this, which kind of makes a lot of sense. Your network is your net worth, like for somebody like us, because relationship building and networking is a key to the success, not only for your professional, but also the personal life, right? So because if you have somebody who would listen to you, appreciate you, kind of contribute to the conversation because you built a stronger network, that goes far long way. Yes, like even in my organization right now, I'm known for the networking king. Like somehow everybody's like, how do you know these people? Like, and then my only answer is like, how do you not know these people? So these people you work in and out, you make an effort to have intentional connection and also being genuine about it. Like I remember when I started networking, if I'm asking you a question, if I'm meeting you for the first time, it's also my role to listen carefully and being attentive enough. So this is one of the tips that I would give. Okay. Don't approach any conversation because you're gonna benefit X amount or Y amount or oh Sindhu's AVP, she would hire somebody in future. That's the only reason I'm connecting with her. Then that would not go a long way because that will be intent like that will only serve the small purpose, but then I would not do better job at it. Like I just want to know who Sindhu, how did she reach where she is today, how she managed people, how she talked to people. And if I'm asking the right question at the networking time, that helps. One of the most important part of networking, which is let's say if you're going out at the public event, dress your best, dress comfortable, but do not forget to put on the very comfortable shoes that you walk into. Because networking is not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? You just have to keep going longer, right? So for that, a comfortable shoes go a long way. If you are comfortable, that translates into events like this. Yes, and something that I do very personal right now is if you see the pin, it's elephant pin. I bought it back somewhere in India from one of the store. So I always have something personal of mine that is a conversation starter, right? So like imagine yourself walking around, maybe you have one friend in the circle, there are three other people that you don't know. You approach that conversation, you're just standing there, maybe sipping a water and then trying to understand what they're talking. And they say, oh, that's a nice pen. Yeah, I know when I went back to India last time, I bought it from a specific store. They store have like very customized pins, but I have a collection of like 30 plus pins
Wow.
that I always put on. And then now I'm known for the person who have pins. And not only I own pin, I have friends who go somewhere. I saw this for you. I'm gonna get that one for you. And they usually bring me that. So that will also create a stronger network, right? And I will know you. Next time you travel somewhere and happen to see a pin, oh, let me get it for Rohit. So you would remember me for that reason. So it goes long way. So comfortable shoes, preparing and having some personal item. These are the some things that helps me.
Wow. I love that. This reminds me of a water bottle I used to have. It broke, by the way. But there was this 1 gallon water bottle, this huge water bottle, pink in color. Absolutely this pink in color. It was about 3 liters, 1 gallon. And I used to be like, I'm not a person who carries light, who travels light. I call myself a coolie because I carry a bag, I carry this, I carry that, I have a bottle, I have a food bag. Like sometimes Ankit makes fun of me and he's like, you've no head left, Sindhu. There's still something that you can keep on your head also. And I'm like, okay, sure. But anyway, that bottle used to be such a big, like it was not intentional. I just wanted to stay hydrated. So I used to carry that big bottle around with all of my backpack, my office bag and everything. But it became such a huge, amazing conversation starter with random people on the subway, random people on the GO train, random people in the office, like, who I did not know until then. Random shows, at shows where I'm just attending as an audience and I don't know most of the audience. Imagine a 200 people setting and you already made 10 friends because of a friggin' bottle. So I get your pin thing, and that's interesting and a very good tip for our listeners. So no wonder you have such a huge network, Rohit. So when you talk about relationship building, when you talk about going to networking events, what has been your biggest challenge? It sounds like you're very comfortable, and of course you're making the effort to be comfortable, to have the right shoes and the right pin. But tell us about a challenge where you've not felt comfortable and you've not felt included as an individual.
I would answer this question in a different way. Like, the time I used to feel not comfortable or not included, it started with my thought, and it probably not even the emotion around the room. Like the
Yes.
reason I said it because I started new career. I had my steady career back home. I moved countries and then I started from scratch, built everything from scratch. I didn't know things, joined the industry which I was never part of or exposed to. But then what stayed with me is a constant urge of learning things that never stopped me. So I had a time where uh, I'm approaching an event, which is one of the corporate events back in time. Initially, I started going to. So it was a time where I was job hunting, and there was an association I was part of. They used to host those dinners and galas where you can approach some of the industry experts, start talking, and have the conversation. So first two events, I felt like maybe I'm the person with a different skin tone and a different person of a color. I don't think I would fit in this industry. I might have not made a right decision and whatnot. So that's where my emotions started, the first couple of events. Third time, I told myself, hey, let's take a charge and make an effort to talk to maybe one person at that event. Let's try with that. Setting a small goals. Like I'm not one making sure that I'm talking to 10 people in the room. I talk to one person, but make a really good connection. So I approached this gentleman. I said, I loved what you spoke about. It was nice to learn. Like you also had a similar journey of moving different country, having a steady career and whatnot. That was a connection I kind of found out. So find a connection in a room where you can relate the most and start the conversation. And then one thing led to another thing. And I said, hey, I'm looking for the jobs. I just finished my studies here. This type of roles I'm looking for and whatnot. And I asked them, hey, is it okay if I send you my resume just to keep a quick look and tell me like what things you could suggest me to change? That happened. Then 2 weeks later, they emailed me, hey, I just had a discussion with my boss. So we don't have a job for you, but are you be open to do internship maybe 2 or 3 days in a week where you can get some type of exposure of industry? I can try and get you like 3 or 4 weeks internship, and then you start and then see where we go. I started my first week. I dived into work. I did my 100%, 200%, contributed. They liked my performance within a couple of weeks. They actually started paying me because one of the leader at that time for that department, they do not like if you have somebody helping you or assisting you or working for your the organization, you should compensate that enough. That's something I learned. Like if I'm getting somebody's help, I'll make sure I compensate enough back to them. So that's where it started. And then that position ended up being a 9-month contract. So from me feeling not included to taking charge and ended up being there. If I can do it, I'm sure you can start somewhere and you definitely can do small efforts.
It's a lot. Like what you're suggesting is a lot is perception, our own perception. And most of the times we end up devaluing ourselves and thinking, okay, maybe we're like, I'm a person of color. I don't know English that well. Or I can't, like, I don't have any topic to have a conversation. I'm an introvert. Like, all these things cloud my mind to not take that charge and be awkward in a social setting. So, but having said that, it's important to really believe in yourself, take charge, and move forward with that. And you never know what that turns into. Okay, so you uprooted your life, Rohit, from having like everything back home. Home was India for you, so having everything back home, all the comforts, all of that love and warmth that you had. You had a good career. What made you uproot your life?
It was a very calculated and thoughtful decision for me. I had everything what I needed. I was very comfortable, like going around the city, being part of the city, having parents around. And I said, okay, if I really want to grow, I need to do something for myself. Because if I'm comfortable here, I would never outgrow my own thoughts and career or fears. Is it just because I am around the people where I'm comfortable and they know me? Or if I just move to the different place and start from scratch, would I have the same brand that I was able to create within my own, like the country? So that was a challenge. I had no intention like settling abroad or whatnot. I don't even know what settling means. Like to be honest, you just grow, you just learn, you just move on, and then whatnot. But I really wanted to try myself. I said, okay, if I really want to grow and I want to see what can I do. So that was a thought
So you
behind it
basically
that I
wanted to
moved.
challenge yourself. Okay, good. Good that you challenged yourself. Then how else would we have met? But when you challenged yourself and when you were making that decision and during that time of your life, did you, and I'm linking it back to you identifying as a cisgender gay man, did you accept that about your identity back?
I knew it growing up. It's like I was born with it. It's not that somebody taught me to do something differently. So I started coming out to my close friends and my cousins already there. And then it continued the moving part of coming here. And then that's where I refer to my initial answer, where when I decided to move and start my life from scratch, I designed the way I wanted.
Mm.
So being who my authentic self is was never like a hidden part of me. I am not hiding. I'm not scared. I am not afraid that you knowing or not knowing. This is who I am. The people who did not stay, maybe I didn't needed them. Like it's too bold to say I don't needed them. Yes, of course, you always need
No,
people
but
around, but maybe they didn't understand you,
yeah,
which is fine. Let them have their
yeah.
benefit of doubt
And
with you.
sometimes it's okay for people to leave your life. It's important. They've taught you what they had. They fulfilled their mission in your life, and that was it. And then they've left. So, which is good. So, okay. But when you actually migrated, how difficult was it for you, given all of the circumstances?
Uh, I would be lying if I say it wasn't difficult, Sindhu. Like, it is emotionally draining. It is very difficult decision. Uh, in order to prove yourself, you made your own
Yeah.
decision to move. What if something goes wrong? What if you don't perform? What if you don't like the country? What if you don't find people? So all those emotions went into my head. Being independent and moving within your own country and moving different countries is huge. For example, if I grew up in Mumbai and I had to move to Bangalore, I would say, yeah, sure, maybe language different, but I still can get comfort food around. I still can have a similar looking or similar talking
Yeah.
people around. That was still a part where I can take a flight, go back on a weekend, come back and continue where I moved. Here, I have to find my own
Mm.
grocery store. I need to find my own favorite restaurant. I need to find how do I order at different restaurant, or how do I even make friends? How do I trust somebody with the information I have? Because I can share with you something about my personal story, but it won't be my story anymore because now I told you it's our story. And what you do with that information, it's out there now, right? So all of this emotion went through. It was very difficult, to be honest, initially. A couple of months was challenging enough because coming home, you don't have that guy who's done your house cleaning. You don't have your mom or your partner or your sister who has cooked meal for you and you just sit and eat, right? So you have to fetch your own food. If you're not waking up 6 in the morning and you have to work at 8 o'clock and you haven't cooked, guess what? You have to either buy it outside or not eat out all day. So this was a lot of evolution for myself, like being more structured, having plans, knowing what to do, how to do. So that taught me a lot.
One last question for you. You've been through so many industries. You've like covered, I feel like you've touched on hospitality, you've touched on finance. Like there's so much that there's such a varied range. It is such a big range that you've touched across. What made you switch from one industry to the other? And why?
In my university year, because I loved cooking, I said, okay, I need to study hospitality. But when I started, it's like, okay, it's just a hobby. It's not something, it's my life. I see myself. Then I moved to travel industry. That's when, oh, I like that. So they started with corporate travel companies back home, worked different bigger corporate organizations. Then moved to Canada, work in customer service because travel had and the hospitality gave me customer service experience, which I could put it on my resume, and then I got a job while I was studying here in Canada. Switching back to insurance industry was I have the customer experience knowledge and have a little bit of product knowledge of working with the travel. How can I enhance? So I got into insurance industry, worked 3 years, moved into learning and development, coaching, leadership to the digital strategy. So the portfolio, even though it's so different, but it's linked in a way of transferable skill. So the challenge was always like, how do I look at this role and what type of transferable skill that I can talk to in my next interview for my next dream job if I think that's gonna be my next thing. So having a good mentor who would guide you goes a long way. So find a person, find a safe space, find somebody you can exchange your ideas and thoughts, and then see what more they can help you see, which you don't see for yourself.
Lovely. Love that. Love this conversation with you. Thank you so much, Rohit. I have one final round of rapid fire for you. So this is going to be quick. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a mix of everything. Are you ready?
I guess so.
I'm just going to get my mic closer to me and keeping my questions in front of me. Okay, here we go. Rohit, morning coffee or evening cocktail?
A morning chai.
One word your friends would use to describe you.
Home.
A song that instantly lifts your mood.
Kuch to hua hai from Kal Ho Na Ho. It just brings some memory back
Love
to
that.
me.
Go to comfort food after a long day.
Anytime, anytime, anytime. Dal chawal.
If you weren't working in digital strategy, what would you be doing? I think I know the answer to that question.
I think I would be cooking for
Knew it.
people.
Knew it. A TV show or movie you can watch on repeat.
One of the show I can always watch and keep watching, it's called Grey's Anatomy. Longest running show on the TV. It always gives me something new from each episode. I don't know why I watch it. One of my friends like, there's so much blood, people are dying. Like, oh, but that's life. Like, so I watched it.
Love it. Okay. A piece of advice you would give others but struggle to follow yourself.
I would say my giving nature, because I give away a lot, and sometimes I don't have a time to refill what is empty half of that glass. I keep telling others, you need to stop, refill yourself and give it out. But I struggle in a way, I give away a lot. I'm just a
Love
giver.
it. Okay. Most overused emoji in your chats. I do
This one?
all the time. Sometimes I end up sending it to random
With the
people.
hands. I am not like, I don't know
No,
this. I don't know
hard.
hard. This
Yeah,
is hard
yeah,
for me.
exactly. Okay. What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
That growing up, until my 10th standard, I studied in vernacular language back home, which is Marathi, my mother tongue. And I only studied English as a subject growing up. But now I can speak fluently enough to survive in the country
Absolutely.
where we
Of
speak
course.
English.
Okay. The best thing about being part of the LGBTQ2S community.
It opened my emotional intelligence and I can be more inclusive for more people. That's what I think.
And finally, what's that one mantra you live by at work and in life?
If it is difficult or challenging, start with that thing because it's just your mind is blocking you. It might not be that difficult to actually perform or do things. So, like if I'm upset with somebody, I will pick up a phone and tell them, hey, this is how I felt, rather than just not having that conversation and going into a zone, which I still struggle. I'm learning.
Me
So,
too.
doing my best.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much, Rohit, for answering all these rapid fire questions. I know it creates a lot of pressure, but I love all the answers. So thank you so much. And thank you for being part of the Corporate Connect.
Thank you, Sindhu. It was amazing to be here. And the rapid fire was like, I didn't even expect to go through that. But next time I'm meeting you, I would need my hamper. I think I did my best.
You did. Thank you so much for listening to the Corporate Connect. We will see you in the next episode. If you found this episode helpful, useful, please do not forget to share it with all your friends, all your loved ones. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. That matters to us. And that's about it for now. Okay. I'll be back. My name is Sindhu Nair, and I'll see you again. Bye.